Yeah, that happens. Hey, what's up everyone? Paul from Grindhouse Funhouse. The time has finally come for me to tackle the films of Russ Meyer. It kind of boggles my mind that I haven't done this before. The only movie of his I've ever watched was Beyond the Valley of the Dolls, written by one half of my favorite movie critic duo, Roger Ebert. And that was a decade ago, so really it's like I'm watching a Russ Meyer film for the very first time. What brought me back to his filmography? Well, thanks to Seven Films, who by some miracle got the rights to release the Vixen trilogy on 4K. We now have Vixen, Super Vixens, and Beneath the Valley of the Ultra Vixens getting the love they deserve. But more on that later. Right now, let's dive into the dirty mind of writer, producer, cinematographer, editor, and director Russ Meyer with his 1968 film Vixen, about a well-endowed, horny woman who cannot be tamed, which I'm guessing could describe pretty much any of his movies. The plot, such as it is, centers around Vixen's sexual interactions with various people in her orbit, including her husband, family members, and others who fall prey to her charms and riz. That's right, I said riz. It opens with a voiceover about bush country, how wild, untamed, and hard to reach it is.
Few roads lead into these wild reaches. Railroads are unheard of.
Bush country here being in British Columbia, so my Canadian pride was fully erect for this one. We meet Tom, played by Garth Pillsbury, an aircraft pilot, a man's man who flies in gas to stay at his and Vixen Wilderness Resort deep in the Canadian woods. Basically, he's Vixen's facilitator, bringing in new warm bodies she can have sex with. But before they arrive, she had time to have some fun with a Mountie. Which begs the question, is Tom naive to all of this? Or does he know and then, just go along with it?
Vixen's full of fun. She likes to tease a lot, but she knows where to draw the line.
The new guests at the resort are a young married couple, Dave and Janet, played by Robert Aiken and Vincent Wallace, who are easily swayed by Vixen's horniness, and Dave is oddly impressed by her ability to fillet a dead fish. She gets it on with Dave during a fishing expedition, and it's all very nice and boring.
She'll make sure Dave has a good time.
The scene with Janet, though, when Vixen comes to her room to keep her company while the men are away, feels like they're discovering their lesbianic desires for the very first time, and Vixen makes it very intense.
Your skin is so soft.
And intense is exactly how Erica Gavin, who plays Vixen, delivers her entire performance. Other ways to describe Vixen: sexually assertive, free-spirited, horny, shameless, aggressive, impatient, unhinged, and straight up batshit crazy. That's how Erica Gavin plays her at all times. And she's the movie clear standout because of it. You'll never get bored watching this acting tour de force. Oh, and Vixen is also incredibly racist. And that's when her brother Judd, played by John Evans, shows up, who, by the way, is a dead ringer for Diedrich Bader. Also, quick side note, what the hell is he wearing on his head? It looks like dead fuzzy spider legs or some shit, I don't know. He's hanging out with his friend Niles, played by Harrison Page in his Scream debut, and every time he came on Scream, this is what I was picturing in my head.
Hammer! In my office right now!
So awesome as Captain Trunk in Sledgehammer. He also shows up in another Russ Meyer flick, Beyond the Valley of the Dolls. Vixen pretty much verbally abuses him every chance she gets, saying the most vile racist shit possible with no rhyme or reason.
You oughta what, black boy? Get your big suitcases off my table, Sambo. Now why don't you just go into town and rape a white girl?
We don't get any backstory on why she's like this, so in my mind I conjure up a whole scenario where the Black Panthers kill her entire family, even though she's Canadian, and now she's just taking it all out on him. And we find out that Niles left the United States to escape those troubles, meaning racism and the looming threat of being drafted into the Vietnam War, only to wind up dealing with this crazy loon instead. Her biker brother Judd riles her up every chance he gets, partly for his own amusement, and partly because they have some seriously repressed sexual feelings towards each other.
How about a free ride, Jack?
Is there anybody you wouldn't make it with?
Only spades and cripples.
Talking about and showing incest on screen was shocking 57 years ago, and guess what? Not much has changed here in 2025, although if you peruse Pornhub for more than 30 seconds, there's all kinds of videos on that subject.
You've been asking for it.
I certainly have, baby brother.
The couple leaves the resort and we get one final guest, an Irishman named O'Banion, played by Michael Donovan O'Donnell, a full-on communist who wants to be flown to Cuba to live his best red life. This is when he tries to convert Niles to his communist ways, and suddenly, the movie takes a sharp left turn into message movie territory, diving into democracy, communism, bigotry, and racism. It's Russ Meyer trying to get a little something off his chest. It all ends with new guest arriving, played by Russ Meyer himself, while Vixen, surely already planning to seduce them both, looks dead into the camera lens. We get a freeze frame, and we get a card appearing saying, "The end?" Sadly, we never got that sequel. Russ Meyer is known for pushing boundaries, and he definitely does it here. Mind you, this was 1968, so what felt out there back then feels almost quaint now. Except for the whole sleeping with her brother thing. That's still pretty wild. I like how he keeps the plot super simple. Vixen likes sex, she'll do it with pretty much anyone with a pulse because she's got those urges, and they must be quenched. Something that's pretty obvious as you watch the movie is that Vixen is not a likable character. I mean, she's beautiful to look at, busty and curvy in all the right ways, just how Russ Meyer likes them. And yeah, I do too. But she's a bitch to almost everyone she meets. She's all about self-gratification and couldn't care less about anyone else. Acting-wise, I wouldn't say all the performances are bad per se, more like unique. They're all self-consciously mattered. It's a specific style, and once you see it, you know, yep, this is a Russ Meyer movie. It's a movie of its time for sure. It's very 1968 with talk of racism, civil rights, the Vietnam War, draft dodging, and sexual liberation. It delivers a healthy dose of social commentary on race relations and political ideologies mixed with bare breasts and sweaty sexual encounters that minimally titillate. That was a mouthful. And honestly, it's all very tame by today's standard. But I'm sure it rocked pretty hard in 1968. All with Russ as the maestro behind it, coming up with the story and pulling triple duty as director, cinematographer, and editor. Speaking of which, his intercutting style is pure madness, like randomly cutting to his lead actress's bare breast during conversations that have nothing to do with sex.
Still living in the past, while the communists are looking to the future.
So why don't you go to Cuba?
Or that wild edit of Vixen washing herself in a lake while her husband talks to her from their bed, as if he's standing right next to her. Then bam, next cut, she's suddenly in the doorway. What is that about? A few fun facts. This was the first mass-distributed movie to be given an X rating. The film was shot in Miranda, California. What's convenient about it are the opening scenes that were filmed in Victoria, BC. It was made for $73,000 back in the day, which would be about $600,000 today. And it went on to gross $8 million. That's $73 million in today's money. That is insane box office for a softcore flick. Vixen was the movie that gave Russ Meyer the big jump to making movies for 20th Century Fox with Beyond the Valley of the Doll. So would I recommend Vixen? I surely would. It's definitely dated in some ways and not everything lands the way it probably should. But considering the time it was made, this campy and not so subtle softcore flick actually had some legit things to say. Don't go into Vixen expecting to get your rocks off. Like I said before, it's not that titillating. See it more through a historical lens. Russ Meyer's signature style is all over this, the fast edits, exaggerated characters, and plenty of skin of the bosomy kind. But underneath all the sleaze, there's commentary about 1960s America, gender roles, and societal hypocrisy. Erica Gavin absolutely owns the screen. She slays every insane scene she's in as Vixen. And mind you, this was her first leading role. She only ended up doing 4 films, with her last screen appearance being Roger Corman's 1974's Caged Eat, directed by Silence of the Lamb Jonathan Demme. I am definitely primed now to check out the 2 remaining films in the trilogy to see just how much bustier, crazier, and sexier it gets. Which brings me to the Severin Films 4K releases I mentioned at the beginning of this review. Severin, in collaboration with Janice Coward and the Russ Meyer Trust, secured the rights to these movies. And if you know anything about the Meyer estate, you know that was no small feat. Even MoMA is involved in this. Yep, that MoMA. This marks the first time these movies have been available on physical media in decades. They pulled these from the original camera negatives, fully scanned and restored in 4K, and they loaded them up with hours of new and archival special features. You can still buy the 2-disc set of Vixen with the slipcover through the Severin Films web store. And if you're even mildly curious about Meyer's work or just want to watch someone fillet a fish in 4K, this is the definitive way to do it. You can also rent or purchase it through Apple TV and stream it on Amazon Prime, but it hasn't shown up on Tubi or Plex yet. So that was my take on Vixen. If you like this, please give it a thumbs up so it can get more visibility out there. Subscribe if you haven't, that does help too. Share your thoughts about Vixen in the comment section below and let me know what is your favorite Russ Meyer movie. More Sexploitation movie reviews coming up soon, so stay tuned. As always, thanks for watching and I'll say to you, ciao bye for now.